Alright, what's up, Wolfpack? We got another home gym video, as per usual. Hold on, let me actually change the camera angle real quick. Make it a little bit more. Boom. Full angle. Locked. Anyways, I'm gonna get the first warm-up set out of the way. And then, yeah, I'll go over how I'm gonna format this today. We got just the bar for now. Go for however many I feel like. And then we'll go straight into the first working set. Okay. Should be good for now. I'm gonna throw 155 on. Here, I'll turn back on the camera when I got that all set up. All right. Got the weight. We got 155 on the bar. You know, only reason I kind of cut off the camera there is I got to move around a lot. You know, when I'm back at the college gym, got all the weights like right next to the bar. Makes it pretty quick, pretty seamless for me to just throw it on mid video. Doesn't make it too much of an issue, but because I kind of have to take a bunch of plates from different places, I'm not trying to waste your guys' time. You know, maybe you'll argue, you know, me keeping the video running as I have the plates running. Or, hold on, I said that like way wrong. You know, me keeping the video running as I have the plates, or as I'm loading the bar with plates, could still be me wasting your guys' time, which, you know, I understand that, but it's a much bigger waste of time when I'm here. In terms of how I'm gonna format this video, I'm really only gonna do 3 exercises that you guys will see. I'm gonna obviously do my whole workout, or well, as much as I can. You know, can't really do leg extension or leg curls here, so I kind of gotta stick with squats and calf raises. So I don't feel great in terms of how my legs are gonna be, but you know, I'm still hitting them. I'm not gonna say no to no leg work this week. I could have also taken this time as like a deload, just don't really go. But you know, I really only take some deload weeks if I'm like sick, which in a case if that does happen, if I ever am sick, I'll let you guys know, because there probably won't be uploads that week. Or well, maybe there will be, I don't know. You know, maybe I'll post gaming content, because that's what I'd probably do when I'm sick. But you know, I haven't gotten to that point yet where I've been sick and tried to film a video, so I'll keep you guys updated for when that probably will happen, because it's very unlikely that I'll never get sick for the rest of my life. Anyways, I'm gonna get this first set out of the way. Like I said, 155 on the bar. We'll go for however many I can do without me, you know, going to true failure here, and then we'll get into the last set. That wasn't a bad set. I feel like my arm path was a little funky there, but you know, we still got it done. Still got a good amount of reps. I'll turn back on the camera when I got all the plates loaded up again. All right, we got the plates loaded up. That really didn't take as long as I thought it was gonna take. I think it probably took like 10 seconds. Yeah, let me sit down so you guys can see my face. But yeah, we got 175 on the bar now. One thing I was thinking of as I was getting ready to record again, actually I'm gonna grab a water real quick. But I I've been noticing this since I've came back here. I feel like I kind of like, I get more lazy when I'm back here. I don't know, I feel like, because maybe it's because in my dorm, my bed's kind of like a pain in the neck to be at or to get to because I have to climb up the bed. But I feel like it's a lot easier for me to do like important things because I'm not really focused on my bed. I'm more focused on, my desk there, where here there's not really much to do at my desk. I all I have is my laptop, and my laptop can't really run games the greatest. So I'm kind of just stuck on my phone. I don't feel great about that. But, I think that could also just be me trying to, take away like some accountability from me, you know, being being as lazy, because I feel like a lot of it's also kind of just how I am. I would say I'm a pretty lazy person when it comes to doing things, for how talking about how I didn't really work too much over winter break. A lot of that was also just out of laziness in itself. I really, every time I would think about clocking in for a shift, I was like, man, I really don't want to do that. Which, I didn't have too much. Like I enjoyed the job. It's not like I didn't have fun. I would say towards like the last 3 months before I kind of left for college, I really wasn't enjoying it. Like I feel like I was kind of like angering myself quickly when I was nearing those last couple days or months. And I think that's also kind of still stuck in my head where I was like, man, I really don't want to deal with people complaining, because as a cashier, there's a lot of people who were nice, and most of them were nice, but you have your regulars that you really don't like enjoy. No hatred towards them, obviously right now, but when you're just standing scanning stuff for hours, and then you got the same people who complain like, oh, can the bags be this way, and stuff like that. It gets annoying after a little bit. But to be fair, they also have some of these people who I would be complaining about have the struggle to do the things, which is why they do those things. So I never really was the person to put it out on those people. I think if you are someone who kind of puts your anger out onto those people, you're a little out of it in the head. At the end of the day, these people, the only reason they make these or ask for these is because, it's their preference. Like let's say you're lifting and, maybe someone's using the chest, or you're a fan of the chest press and everybody's using the chest press, it's like almost pushing a guy off the chest press just so that you could hit it. Like, why would you do that? We're all here for the same reasons. We all have to get through our day. So don't put your anger out on other people. Just be happy. You can have the anger in your head. I'm not saying just eliminate yourself of anger. I usually kept that anger in my head because, like I said, they don't deserve to get that hatred. But, never really try to take it out. Give yourself 15 minutes before you really or consider if your anger is justified or not. Because usually with that anger, I would say 15 minutes afterwards, I was kind of over it. Really could care less. Anyways, I'm going to get this last set out of the way. Like I said, 175 on the bar. I think my mom might be home. Dogs are moving a lot. But yeah, 175 on the bar. Go for however many I feel like, and then we'll go from there. Okay, that's it for bench. I'll turn back on the camera when I got another exercise set up, and I'll see you guys then. So Wolfpack, I wasn't gonna record this, but got Funk. Can you guys see him? It's right there. I don't know, he's doing some weird stuff right now. Doesn't he seems like kind of paranoid. I think it's because of all the dogs walking. But we got him here, support me through my lift. Right now I'm doing some skull crushers. So, you know, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Thonk, but this is my guy. You know, he's a big instigator. Half his tail's gone. And yeah, that's all I'm filming for this part. Because I need to get back to the workout, but I thought he was being a little goofy. Alright, what's up, Wolfpack? We got the second recorded lift of the day. Some lat pull downs. I'm not going to do a warm up like I did last time. Mainly because it's a pain to get the 45s off. Especially the one on the right. When I put the weights on. So, you know, if you're complaining, too bad. But I am going to go still do my 2 sets of failure. And we'll go from there. Alright. I'm going to get the first set out of the way. Okay, and I ended off there. I'm gonna throw some 10s on. I'm pretty sure I did more than 10 there. Whew. How fast was that? How fast was me getting those plates right there? Probably not too long. Whew. I'm gonna sit down here. It's funky, shakes a little. Don't know how I feel about that, but it's okay. You know what, maybe I'll actually, you know, maybe I can move it, but it's not gonna affect me enough to where I think it'll, you know, change my gains. So we're just gonna leave it here for now. You know, it's not like it's gonna topple over. I really don't got much to talk about today. Let me think of some stuff. Oh, actually, I could. So there, you know, as long as I'm you know, consistent with my clips, I got a little. You guys probably saw a clip of Thunk, my, you know, youngest cat, or well, the family's youngest cat. Shouldn't say my cat. He's already gone. He left like 10 seconds after I made that clip, and I was like, damn. You know? I was hoping he would motivate me. I think he started sniffing the tripod, and then ran. So, it's back to just me. But, you know, that's fine. In terms of the content, you know, I've said this a lot at this point, but I need to keep saying it until it actually works. You know, if you have anything that you'd like me to discuss, you know, whether it's stuff regarding my life, whether it's stuff regarding the world, whether it's stuff or questions you have for me about how you could be like me. I don't think, you know, a lot of people are going to be asking that. You know, I don't think I have everything perfect. I feel like I'd be a lot different if I had everything perfect. But, you know, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them down in the comments. And then, you know, I'll discuss them in the next video. Maybe I'll shout out whoever gave me the comment. You know, if you guys would want that. Make it almost like a Q&A, but, you know, or well, Yeah, pretty much just like a Q&A. And in terms of the video, please give me some critiques, you know, what you guys don't like about the video, what you guys do like about the video, any suggestions on what I should do differently. The only thing I don't think I would do differently is how my editing goes, because I don't really do a whole lot of editing to begin with, unless it's like to show you guys something. But you know, if you have any suggestions and critiques, leave them in the comments. You know, you're not gonna get better if you don't know what you're doing wrong. So, you know, that's my little anecdote there. Now I'm actually out of stuff to talk about. You know what? I'm just gonna get in the last set. I don't really know what I could think of right now. And then I am gonna film one more exercise after this. But right now we got, what is this? All right, I believe we got 130 on the machine. So we'll go for however many I can, and then we'll get into the next exercise. All right. Ran in it there. Didn't touch the chest. Good indicator of leaving it off. Yeah, I'll turn back on the camera when I got the last exercise set up.